the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the power slam of pancakes. It's the mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really could have devoured him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Power Slam show. Let's go! Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up.
You are now listening to the Pancakes and Power Slam show by Crave Wrestling on Blog Talk Radio. Be sure to follow Crave Twitter at Crave Wrestling and join the Facebook fan page Crave Wrestling.
And 363 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chris Featherstone. This is the Pancakes and Power Slam show. We are live and living color and funky like a monkey, if you will, baby. Yeah. So here's the deal, man. We're back to Plan A today. I really enjoyed Plan B last week, by the way. The PNP Nation made Plan B so amazing. It was so fun last week. And here's the funny thing. What's going on? PNP Nation in the chat room already. Let me know if y'all see me fine. Here's some crazy things that happened over the past weekend. So the software that I use completely deleted everything that I had stored up for it. And so I had to start from scratch, set up everything. Okay, it said it froze. Okay. Let me know. Okay, yeah, it looks like it froze. Let me change this real quick. Let me know about this because I'm fixing it out on the go. And okay, it should be working now. So yeah, it's still jacked up a little bit. Let me know because it looks like it's okay right now. But it looks like it's a bit of a delay. So PNP Nation, let me know how it looks. Trying to make this work here. Hold on, be right back. All right, so y'all should be hearing me now. Should be hearing me now. Everything should be on and ready. Okay, so let me know if you hear me. Hopefully this doesn't jack up the the streaming, but yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It looks like the... All right, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right, PNP Nation, let me know where we're at. My computer right now, talk about we're live, pal. My computer is just totally acting plumb crazy right now. All right, Brandon, hear me. Mo, you see me? How's everything? Mo says it's okay. Jeffrey says it's okay. How's the video quality? No freezing? How are we looking right now at YouTube? So it looks like, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's fine. But let me know. I need a few confirmations. No freezing. I see you. No freezing. Okay. Simultaneous no freezing. All right. There we go. So I'm glad that we're back and we're live. Okay, good. No freezing. Okay, awesome. Good stuff, guys. So how's everybody doing? First of all, this is episode 363. Appreciate everybody coming on the show with me. Even with the back to Plan A, like I said, Plan B was a lot funner to me last week. It was a house show, spontaneous Plan B that was... And you know what the funny thing is? I think I was trying to say this before. Here's the funny thing about Plan B last week. On the audio version of Blog Talk Radio, you can actually get Google. You can actually Google Pancakes and Powerslams, and you can actually save the list of Google, because it's through like the Google podcast, and you can actually save it on your computer. I mean, save it on the phone, and it shows the whole list of Pancakes and Powerslams podcasts. So it's really, really cool. It's actually like Google. It's like a Google thing that it's called Google Podcast. So go to Google Podcast and type in Pancakes and Powerslams. You and put that on your home screen on your phone, and you'll be able to listen to every single podcast. So that's the funny part of this whole deal, is that we were talking about the episode that was like a few years back. It's playing like Google Podcasts on Pancakes and Powerslams. It's got the whole thing, every single episode. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm trying to figure out which one was the the one with the that was very limited. That was that I was talking about last week. People getting scanned for 2020 to 2K 2020. Hopefully it doesn't jack up someone's career like it did Shinsuke Nakamura this year, because I mean, I love AJ Styles. It's not his. Mo, you think you found it last week? Nice, nice. The episode from hell. So I hope it doesn't jack up someone's career like it did Shinsuke Nakamura's last year. I love AJ. It's not his fault at all. But, I mean, the fact that Nakamura won the Royal Rumble and lost to AJ, a lot of people are saying because of the whole 2K thing of being on the cover of 2K, and they didn't want to take the belt off of him, and man, that really hurt. So, we're gonna have a fun show this week. We got the interview for this week is I was a part of a Ring of Honor media call today with both Matt Taven. I'm good, Mahmood. Thanks for asking, man. I was on a ROH media call today with Matt Taven and Jay Lethal, so I got to be a part of a list of media that interviewed both of them, asked them questions. Shinsuke, not tomorrow. Yes, very true. So it was really cool. Evan and I both were part of the conference call, and they had Matt Taven and Jay Lethal. This week I'm going to play Matt Taven. The total conference call was long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm actually going to play both this week and next week. So this week I'll be playing Matt Taven, and next week I will be playing the Jay Lethal part of the media call for this week's 17th anniversary. Jay Lethal will be defending the championship against Matt Taven, and it was really fun. I've been on conference calls with both Matt Taven. It's funny because I've been on a conference call with both Matt Taven and Jay Lethal, and I've had both Matt Taven and Jay Lethal on the show, on the PNP show, with individual interviews. So I've interviewed both of them 3 times, 2 conference calls, and both have appeared on the show separately. So my 3rd interview with both Matt Taven and Jay Lethal, and it was pretty fun. So check it out. There's other media there as well, so check it out. I'm about to play it, and after the Matt Taven media call to promote this week's 17th anniversary, I will be back with a lot of WrestleMania trivia this week, and this week we're going to go further into. We got some news to cover, but we're not going to cover it for long. But we're going to go further into the pro wrestling controversial questions. Dun dun dun. It's you better watch out, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Or as Booker T would say, also, it's going to be perfect. Let me know how I'm looking on the air. Like I said, I was going to do the. It's funny. It's funny that last weekend I actually had everything set up to go live for to do the live reaction for Fastlane. Because I mean overall, I mean it was okay. We'll talk a little bit about it. Not too much, but a little bit about it. So I was ready to go live on the Chris does make a good Booker T line. Way to go. Like I said, it's going to be perfect. Let me know how I look, actually. Am I no freezing, right? No freezing. I'm good to go. Fluid motion. Everything's good. Are we good? Confirm with me that I'm good before I start playing the conference call. Okay, no freezing still. Okay, good. Okay, good. Looks like the settings are all good. Like I said, Brandon still loves my Triple H voice. All right, I'm good. I'm doing fine. Okay, great. That's good to know. Yeah, we do got to talk about the Batista promo and Triple H promo. Give me what I want. Give me this spitting everywhere. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. But come on, Batista. Hey, I used to be a huge Batista mark, but we'll get to that. But before we go to the media call, like I said, man, I had everything set up for the live reaction with Fastlane. And the crazy thing is it just totally not only did the software shut down, but when I had to restart my computer and when I got back on the computer, now I had a whole bunch of just different stuff I mean, I have a software to you see this the scroll, actually new font with the scroll actually. The scroll, the logo right there. You saw the intro logo. When I switched from screen to screen, some really cool software that I have, but it not only did it not, I mean it saves all of the it saves all of the settings, so I can just jump right into the show. I ain't got to worry. I mean, I make different changes for different weeks and stuff like that as far as the logo and things like that. But there's normal settings that I have that just makes everything a smoother transition. So I'm about to go live for Fastlane. I go back to my software, and every single thing is totally annihilated. It is deleted. Talk about delete. My whole software, everything was deleted off of it. And I said, oh my gosh, this is crazy, because I had to spend so much time with going into the settings, making sure they're proper, making sure everything was good as far as not freezing, not any delays or anything like that. And it was crazy. So I spent most of my time, I spent a good portion of my time watching Fastlane on one of my screens in my studio, and on the other screen, and I was watching Fastlane on my screen and on my laptop as well, because I was using two of the screens at times, trying to fix the software, and it was a pain. So with that being said, Plan A is back. I enjoyed Plan B a little bit better, honestly, because on the audio, the reason why I even talked about the Google Podcasts was if you check the audio for last week, because the audio usually comes straight from Blog Talk Radio, but the audio from Plan B last week that I actually uploaded to Blog Talk, it was much more crisp. So, I don't know. I think we might be bring back Plan B. We don't hear their countdown. We went into overtime last week. It was a lot of fun with Plan B. So we might be Plan B back for WrestleMania. We could. Somebody remind me about Stasiak. I said I was going to submit. The pitch to Dave Lagana. Remind me about that. I'm just trying to tie up some loose ends before we go to the conference call. And I think we're set. I think we are set with the conference call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back after this Ring of Honor conference call, and I think that's it. All right, so we'll be right back after the conference call.
Into this Friday's big main event with Jay Lethal having this opportunity to become Ring of Honor World Champion. After all,
I don't remember a single person telling me I wasn't main event material. Maybe a Melvin like yourself might think that they never had the guts to say that to my face. Or, maybe they should watch the product every once in a while, because for the last year, there's no one that holds a candle to Matt Taven. For the last night in the Ring of Honor World Champion. So going into this Friday is just another day of employment for Matt Taven. Just clock. And, hopefully people like you who I'm assuming have stepped foot in a ring ever in your entire life can finally maybe realize the greatness that is Matt Taven. But that's honestly on you, because I already know how great I am.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Alexandra from Sam Wrestling. Go ahead, Andra.
Yeah, so I want to know that ever since Jay Lethal regained his Ring of Honor World title, you still claim that it should be yours because there's a little complication with the ref. Does that fuel your fire for your upcoming match?
I mean, there's no doubt about it. 9 months ago, if you go back and watch the match where Jay Lethal supposedly regains the Ring of Honor World title, I beat Dalton Castle, who was the world champion at the time. I pin him right in the middle of the ring for an 8 count, which is why for the last 9 months, Matt Taven has been the real Ring of Honor world champion. So going into this match with Jay Lethal, I guess it's a form of motivation, but honestly, for me, this is just another step in my Purple Rain tour. I mean, I defeated the former champ in his championship rematch at Final Battle. Now these Melvins want to say that Jay Lethal's the champ. Well, I'm going to beat him too this Friday in Vegas and just continue my epic title reign.
All right, thank you. Anthony Suter from Smart to Death. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Sorry, what was the name of your publication? Oh, that's a fantastic one.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Matt. If you do win this Friday against Jay Lethal, what will happen to the real Ring of Honor title?
The title that was the most prestigious title by that poser Jay Lethal, obviously because he was overwhelmed with jealousy. It was a better title in the first place. It meant more. It had more prestige to it, like I said, and it actually was held by the real Ring of Honor world champion. So, after Friday, I'll be able to get rid of that disgusting belt that Ring of Honor's been carrying around for a while now and upgrade it to something that fits a king.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anton Jackson from Vulture Hound. Go ahead, Anton.
Good afternoon, Mr. Taven.
Well, how are you?
Doing all right. All right. These Ring of Honor anniversary shows, they tend to showcase not only the legacy of Ring of Honor, but they tend to showcase the legacy of certain wrestlers. How do you look at your legacy and promotion on the eve of this World Championship match on one of the show's landmark shows?
Well, I think you go back to my very first night under contract with Ring of Honor and my very first anniversary, the 11th anniversary, where I defeated Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor television title. And, in the years since, I've done nothing but add more and more and more to my resume, whether it's been in New Japan or CMLL, and obviously here in Ring of Honor. 17th anniversary, 6 years deep into my Ring of Honor career, is going to be the time where, I already know I'm the Ring of Honor world champion. But now, if I need to go through Jay Lethal to make it official to the dorks in the office or to the guys with, fantastic media names like Smart to Death, if I have to prove that to those type of people, well, then I will make sure that everyone sits down, gets their popcorn ready for Friday night, Vegas. Ooh, I love Vegas, and I love the anniversary show. I've always done very well at it, and I will make sure that my dominance of this company for the last 6 years comes to the pinnacle and finally gets to the point where, the doubters or the critics have nothing to do but eat crow and shut up.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Chris Featherstone, Pancakes and Powerslams. Go ahead, Chris.
Matt Taven, how you doing today?
I'm great. Have you had your pancakes this morning?
No, I have not this morning, but I will this evening. I appreciate you asking, man. It's very kind of you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So my question is, so you talked about how you debuted on the 11th anniversary, and you've created such a very unique path on your way to being the real Ring of Honor champion. Now, as far as creating a legacy for Matt Taven in Ring of Honor, what are some things that you have kind of foreshadowed to achieve in order to accomplish the legacy of the CM Punks and the Bryan Danielses and the Nigel McGuinnesses and your opponent, Jay Lethal, coming up this weekend?
Well, I think from day one in Ring of Honor, the goal was to always be in this position to, have your name on the marquee, to have your name at the main event. Mm-hmm. And, when you step into Ring of Honor, that's not just something that's usually just given to you. And I've really had to carve my path by winning the Top Prospect Tournament, becoming a television champion. There was minor setbacks with injuries and different things that have happened. But every situation that I've been put in, whether it's, like Bennett winning the tag titles, not only just here, but in New Japan, then coming back from an injury, going to CMLL, being the first foreigner to win the NWA middleweight or welterweight championship there, being the first foreigner to main event the anniversary show this past year. I mean, these are all things that I've done time after time after time to show everyone that Matt Taven is exactly who he says he is. He's the very best that Ring of Honor has to offer. And for a while, I felt like there was a conspiracy against me, that Ring of Honor was holding me back. And, sometimes when you feel like you're not getting the support that you deserve or that you should have by whether it be people with fantastic media names, again, like Pancakes and Powerslams or The Office or Melvins in the crowd that, are wearing a terrible black T-shirt, you have to kind of, do what you have to do to make sure people know that you're 110% serious about everything you said. And then, beating the former world champion in the middle of the ring, only to have someone else claim to be the champion, didn't sit well with me. And I had to make a statement for the last 9 months, and everything has been leading to this moment here in Vegas. So you better believe that the last year plus of work isn't going to come to an end in Vegas with Jay Lethal thinking that he's walking out of the place with that piece of tin. Oh, no. I'm going to make sure that this is the climax of Matt Taven's story for the last year.
I appreciate that, and I'm not a Pats fan, but I know what you are, so congrats on the Super Bowl win.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it happens so often. You're going to have to continue to say it to me more and more and more.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Chris. Next up is Evan from Under the Mat Radio. Go ahead, Evan.
How you doing, Mr. Taven? How are you today?
Good. How's being under the mat?
It's better now. I'm actually over now talking to you, so it's all good. I want to ask you, Taven, with all your accomplishments, everyone's been mentioning about your world title match against Jay Lethal, but you've been currently the 6-man tag champion in Ring of Honor. You've been on the list of the Junkyard Dogs, the Ricky Mortons, the Tommy Riches, the Freebirds, and now you have the chance to become ROH champion and with holding belts from CMLL, NWA, New Japan. If you happen to win the world title this Friday against JD, held the belt for a record amount of times and record length, what will be next on your goals? What will be your next thing that you want to do or accomplish if you become the World Heavyweight Champion and currently still just the World 6-Man Championship champion in ROH?
Well, I take great pride in being the first ever team to hold the Ring of Honor 6-man titles and being the only team to hold it 3 times and also holding it the longest out of any 6-man in history, because that my crew of Vinny and TK is the greatest trio in professional wrestling, and we take great pride in saying that and being that. With that being said, you spoke about Jay Lethal holding the title for the longest reign in history, which I don't believe is true. Again, for the last 9 months, I think Jay Lethal's title reign has been an absolute fraud. And if you would ask me, Samoa Joe still owns the title of longest title reign in history. And so once I officially become on the record books in these Melvin's eyes as the world champion, that's my goal, is to set the record for the longest title reign in history, just like I did when I won the television title, and I set the record for that as well. If you look back at the history of Matt Taven, he continuously does things like this, achieves goals that no one else has achieved, and lives up to everything that he says. So mark my words, once I beat Jay Lethal, the history books where it says Samoa Joe longest reign, he's going to have to find himself a nice comfy spot in second place behind Matt Taven.
Thank you for that, Mr. Taven. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Evan. Next up is James Walsh. Go ahead, James.
All right, let's see how you like my name. My name is James Walsh from the Wrestling Epicenter. Is that an okay name?
That's better than Pancakes and Powers. Or no, Smart to Death might be the worst one.
I think I might have to create a Facebook group for Melvin's in the Crowd. That was awesome. I like that name. That's awesome. Okay.
That's a good podcast, man.
That's a good podcast name. Very good. All right. So my question is not about the 17th anniversary show, but maybe looking a little bit past it, which I feel some people might be doing past the 17th anniversary show as we head into the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden. Should you unify the titles? I'll call it a unification match at the 17th anniversary. How cool would it be to walk into Madison Square Garden as the official Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion?
I mean, it's something that I would be lying if I said, you know, the thought of Madison Square Garden isn't in the back of my mind. But at the same time, you know, as much as I say that Jay Lethal is a fraud, and I do think that his championship reign is that, I take nothing away from Jay Lethal, the wrestler in the ring. And to look past this Friday in Vegas, looking forward to Madison Square Garden, even to think about, you know, once I beat Jay, I'm going to walk into Madison Square Garden as the Ring of Honor World Champion. As great as a thought that is, I really can't put the cart in front of the horse and really get my mind to that moment because, you know, Vegas is 3 days away. And if I start thinking past Vegas and I start going and thinking of what's happening next, you know, Jay Lethal might sneak up on me, and that I would be letting myself down after everything I've said for the past year. So Madison Square Garden is definitely around the corner. It's definitely an event that everyone has marked on their calendar. But right now I'm focused on Vegas. And, you know, I'm positive that I will beat Jay Lethal in Vegas. So walking into Madison Square Garden as the champion, well, that's just going to be, you know, a cause and effect of what happens Friday.
Awesome. Can't wait to see it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Next, Jason Frazier from ESPN Radio in St. Louis. Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not doing too bad. My question goes, I know you were trying to achieve singles glory this week, but also looking at your credit with the Kingdom. So many factions have come and gone in Ring of Honor history. The Kingdom now seems like they're the longest running. How difficult is it to kind of keep a faction like that going year in and year out?
Well, I think, you know, the fact that the Kingdom has been able to stick together for 3 years plus now, while you see other groups break up or people leave, or, you know, the whole group is completely different than how it originally was, but the name is still the same. And like the fact that that the Kingdom has been able to stay strong is a testament to the bond that we truly have. You know, the three of us, we came up together in the business. We were all trained under Spike Dudley. We're all from the same area. We travel together. We eat together. We move together. It's one of those things where this is my family. This is my brothers. And obviously there's times where you don't get along with family, and you know, you have some disagreements with your closest friends and brothers. But our bond is something real that can't be broken, and that's why we're have stuck together without a single moment of any trouble in paradise when it comes to the Kingdom, because this group, and this is a bond that will last a lifetime, and it's why we're the best trio in the world, because we think as one, the three of us. And, you know, the three of us all want us to succeed as much as humanly possible. Obviously, we're the six-man champions. The guys are firmly behind me in my match on Friday going into Vegas, and they have a big match as well against Lifeblood that, you know, I'll be watching, and then I'll be pulling for them as well. And that's because, you know, this is as real as it gets between the three of us.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks. Next, Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, Matt. Good to talk to you again. Thanks so much.
Long time. I feel like every time we do these calls, I have just spoken to you.
I'm not gonna lie. I just dropped our interview like 20 minutes ago. So after everybody's done with this, go listen to that too, please.
Yeah, please.
But Matt, I want to ask you. You know, you were just talking about the Kingdom, your relationship with Vinny and TK. What are their plans for Friday night? Are they going to be in your corner? Have you told them to stay back? What's the details here?
I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and give away a full game plan. I mean, that's kind of foolish. But I think if you've ever seen the Kingdom in action, we're always not too far away from one another. And, you know, as one of the media outlets named themselves Under the Mat, they should have named themselves Vinny's House, because that's, you know, Vinny, you always got to check under the ring with him. You never know what he might be up to. But the three of us, you know, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. We know each other when we're out in the ring, or we can see from our facial reactions alone what we're thinking. And, just like when you're watching your friend in a fight and you think he might need help, there's always a chance to slide in there and make sure your buddy gets the upper hand. So Jay Lethal would be foolish not to realize that the Kingdom's a unit and a strong one, and that when he steps in the ring with Matt Taven, he's stepping in the ring with an entire Kingdom.
Thanks so much for the time, Matt.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Nick. Thank you very much. Next, Sean Rossap from Fightful.com. Go ahead, Sean. Sean?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a question about the state of the Real World's Championship belt. Are you still in possession of that? What are you going to do with it despite its destroyed nature?
Well, the Real World Championship belt is still in my possession. It is my property. It was damaged by Jay Lethal, but I'm a stand-up man, and I'm a guy who likes to settle things face-to-face, mano-a-mano, and, probably unlike yourself, where you would probably press charges and make a big stink out of it, I'm going to go right to Jay Lethal and slap him in his mouth for what he did to the belt. But again, like I said earlier, you probably weren't paying attention since you couldn't even pick up your call when it was time for your name to be called. I'm going to make that belt better than it's ever been, especially after Friday. I'll replace that piece of tin that Ring of Honor has been carrying around as the most prestigious title and show them what is actually fit for a king. The real Ring of Honor title might be gone for right now, but it's definitely not gone forever.
Matt?
All right, thanks, Sean. And the final question for Matt, it's from Stu Myrick from The Horn in Austin. Go ahead, Stu.
Matt Taven, how are you, man?
Hey, Stu. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you as well. So let's talk a little history. Assuming you do become victorious on Friday night, you will become only the second man to become a Ring of Honor's Grand Slam champion. The only other man being the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. What would that mean to you to cement your name in history, achieving something that only one other man has achieved?
Well, I really wish it was zero other men had achieved it. And, Christopher Daniels, I almost mentally erase him from that list because the conspiracy that was taking place against the Kingdom at the time, where we seem to still been the six-man tag titles, is when SCU captured the six-man belts. So to me, that should have an asterisk on it at least. So to be the first ever guy to truly be the Grand Slam champion is just something that goes along with the legacy of Matt Taven. Being the first man to win the television title on his very first night, hold it for the longest reign ever to that point, being the first man to hold the NWA Welterweight Championship for CMLL, to only being the second man in history to hold a belt in New Japan, CMLL, and Ring of Honor. These are things that I've accomplished time after time after time again, and it'd be fitting for Matt Taven to put his name on that list once again, because that's what I've done throughout my career. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Matt Taven will be a Grand Slam champion in Ring of Honor, because to me, I already am. Now, if it takes Friday slapping around a Melvin like Jay Lethal for the record books to finally put it down, so be it. But you can just mark my words right now. There will be another notch on the belt of Matt Taven, another bullet point in the resume of Matt Taven when I become Grand Slam champion.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Stu. And thank you, Matt, for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to take some calls from our press friends.
All right. Matt Taven, Ring of Honor media call. Jay Lethal is part 2, and I'll go ahead and air that next week on the show. And then, we're so much close to WrestleMania, man. It's going to be so fun. But the stop before that is the Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show in Vegas. And then, of course, WrestleMania weekend, we have the big G1 Supercard show inside the Garden. Inside the Garden, the Madison Square Garden. So go listen, check out, go get your Honor Club membership, and check out 17th anniversary this coming weekend. Go to ROHWrestling.com for details, and I hope you enjoyed the media call. All right, for the lack of time, let's get right into it. Let's briefly address these headlines. Briefly talk about Fastlane, Raw, and SmackDown, and then spend the most of our time addressing these pro wrestling controversial questions. Dun dun dun. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you know what time it is. The co-host with the most, Evan Tech Proud. How are you tonight, sir?
What's going on, guys? How y'all feeling?
Doing well, man. Doing well. You
Good to be here.
You sound much better than about an hour ago when I spoke to you.
Yeah, man. The Illuminati tried to get to me.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
But as they try to get to you, but as Steve Austin would say, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I gotta do the Austin. Gotta keep pacing back and forth.
Right,
like
right.
our boys sing.
Right. Absolutely. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the headlines. Here we go. So here's the funny part of all this. Remember last week, again, the fun and joy of Plan B. The Plan B episode last week, it was funny because I was trying to find the headlines, and the thing is about the Blog Talk Radio studio, have all the sound bites like right in front of my face. That's the joy of having a podcast studio and having a podcast host. And so, but the funny part, the cool part is Plan B. I have a soundbite playlist now for the show. So Plan B will work, and we're going to go back to Plan B because Plan B sounds much crisper, audio wise. But you gotta give it up for all the sound bites that I have for the Blog Talk Radio on the Blog Talk Radio studio, including my favorite one. You know what my favorite soundbite is, right? You know what my favorite soundbite is. Everybody knows what my favorite soundbite is.
I'd do it for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'd do it for you. Speaking of that, Harlem Heat to the WWE Hall of Fame. Booker T is the two-time sucker Hall of Famer. How about that? Booker T. Out of anyone, and I was totally fine by me because Booker T's one of my top. He's actually my fifth all time. For the chat room, here's the deal. See how much the chat room knows me. See how much the PNP Nation knows me now. Give me my top 5. What is Chris Featherstone's top 5 wrestlers of all time in order? It's okay if you get it wrong. It's totally fine. But see if you can. I've said it a few times. I've said it a few times here on the show. And let me see if you know it. Top 5 all time, 1 through 5. All right. Mahmoud is asking,
we got the 5, brother.
Past or present? The all time. No, Evan. Absolutely not. Yeah. I'm sure Black Bart will be good. I'm sure old Black Bart will be fine. I'm giving that shout out. But he's definitely not a part of my top 5. But I would definitely say Black Bart is one of my top 5 P&P interviews of all time. That's for sure. Definitely.
We all know your Bull Bear is Sting is both of all ghosts and Jay Lethal. So Jay
Lethal's my current favorite. Yes, Jay Lethal is he's been my favorite wrestler for Jay Lethal's been my favorite wrestler for about 5 years now. Yeah, so he's been my number one for about 5 years. But he's definitely not in my top 5 all time. So I will give you that. All right, so we actually have people who are actually giving me 5 answers. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for listening, Brandon. Another soundbite that I have in my repertoire is this one here. So you get an applause, Brandon, for actually listening. Brandon said Sting, Roman, Triple H, Hogan, and Vince McMahon. You have one of those right. Mahmood, you get an applause too for listening. Stone Cold, Sting, Booker T, Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat. You have 3 of those right, actually. Good work, Mahmood. You have 3 of those right. Not in the correct order for the 3 that are right. So there you go. But good try, Mahmood. You actually are winning right now. You have 3 of those right. So keep them coming. Yeah, CJ. Smash that like button. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. So GHP, Lethal, Macho, Book, Roman, and Eva Marie. Hey, best wishes to Eva Marie. She's killing it right now outside of WWE. But because you said Eva Marie, I'm going to have to give you this, GHP. I'm actually surprised that I would give you a wrong buzzer. Because you my boy. But, nah. That ain't going to happen. No Eva Marie. Mo says Jay Lethal, Booker T, Stone Cold, Ricky Steamboat, and Sting. You have 3 of those right. No. Jay Lethal is not in my top 5 all time. Nope. Maybe in my top 10. Maybe. Possibly. Quite possibly in my top 10 all time. Possibly. Definitely 15. Maybe 10. Not 5. All right. All right. Give me a couple more. Give me a couple more before I go. And I will tell you my top 5.
Well, nobody know my top 5. Only Featherstone and I think GHP, if you can remember. I think y'all the only 2 that might know my top 5.
There you go.
So not even going to ask.
Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Sting, Booker T. You gave me, come on. You can't do 6. You gave me 6. Cheater. Mahmood is a cheater. Evan, what's your top 5?
My top 5, of course, same one, the GOAT, Sting. 2 will be Taker. 3 will be Michaels. 4 will be Angle. 5 will be Steamboat.
Nice. That's a good 5. That's a
top 5 of all time.
That's a solid 5, man. All right. I got another guess. Flair, Steamboat, Sting, Booker T, and Triple H. Mo, you have 3 of those right. Brandon, Sting, Stone Cold, Steamboat, HBK, and Macho Man. You have 2 of those right. All right, so here's my top 5. Now I'll go from 5 to 1, and I'll even give a drum roll. You guys know what number 1 is, but we'll just give him a drum roll anyways. Number 5, suitable enough. Number 5 is Booker T, dog. 5 times. He's actually my number 5 of all time. Number 4 is Chris Jericho. Number 3 is Ricky Steamboat. Number 2 is Dusty Rhodes, baby. Yeah. American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Number 2 of all time, baby. And number 1, you guys know what number 1 is, but I'm gonna give you a drum roll anyways. Okay, I'm gonna give you a drum roll anyways. Here we go. My number 1 of all time. He does this, he does that. He's big as a bull and he's quick as a cat. He's a man, Costa.
Ow! You gotta do the yo in the beginning, the real version.
Right, with the cowbells.
With the break.
Boop, boop, boop. I would play the song, but WWE pinged the show, so I can't do that. The show's became so popular that WWE and Triple H will ping the show for playing Sting. So I'll just fake. So I'll just fake the Sting. I'll just sing the Sting song instead of play it, so I don't violate any copyright issues. All right. Ask Chris question. Thank you, GHP. No one worked more fluently than Steamboat. He always hit everything on point. Prime example of a wrestler. Absolutely. Hashtag Ask Chris. Yeah. So I think I think that Steamboat is the greatest babyface of all time, hands down. Sting is my favorite because I think he's just the greatest just character. Like I was a big fan of Sting's character. I was sucked in as a kid in the late 80s. The Sting character, he just absolutely just drew me in. And he was an amazing babyface. I give Steamboat the greatest babyface of all time, just because he was just such a solid, fluid, good guy babyface. He was just as they would call a white meat babyface, and he did such an amazing job at it, man. I absolutely loved every single bit of it. Sting to me was just the best character. I was just such a Sting mark. Still am big Sting mark. And I had the pleasure to interview Sting at it was a Q&A that I went to, and I did some media work, and I asked a question, and it was great. So yeah. It was awesome. There was my Sting moment as far as media is concerned. So it was awesome. I also had the opportunity to actually interview Booker T last year. He was on the show, and it was great, man. So I've interviewed 2 of my top 5. Unfortunately, Dusty's no longer with us, and I've asked a media question to Sting. I've interviewed Booker T. And so Jericho's next, right? And Steamboat. Got to get... Actually, you know what the crazy thing is? Last year, I actually had an interview scheduled with Ricky Steamboat, but something happened. I forgot what happened. So I got close to interviewing Steamboat. I interviewed his son. His son Richie's been on the show. Richie Steamboat's been on the show. That was a pretty cool interview. So go back to the archives and check out Richie Steamboat's interview here on the Pancakes and Powerslam show. So I got to get Ricky. So, yep.
My top 5. I got pictures of Sting in '89. I told you last year we was in the elevator together, me, him, and my fiance, which was hilarious because I told you my fiance didn't recognize him without the paint. Yeah. And Sting actually was joking with her about that. I got to interview Steamboat. I got to interview Angle. I had reference for Angle. And, of course, we all know Taker and Michaels. That's pretty much. And, Taker, he's talking a lot more now. But
He is.
Yeah, about two out of 3.
Taker charges about $65,000 for interviews. So unless you are a millionaire, you're not going to get an interview with the Undertaker. Unless you're Pastor Eric Young, you're not going to get an interview with the Undertaker. He will be at StarCast though. And speaking of that,
he will.
He'll be there. And just real quick, I'm totally for Harlem Heat being in the Hall of Fame. They're the most decorated, to me, the most decorated tag team in WCW history. 10-time tag team champions. If I'm not mistaken, though, their reigns were short. A couple of them were long, like 4 months or so long-ish. But a lot of their reigns were short, man. I don't know why. It's just WCW's booking a lot. The hot potato championships, man, I so wasn't a fan of that. But here's the crazy thing about Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat was only a team from 1990 as far as WCW is concerned. As far as so they came in 93. They won their first tag team title in 94. So they were tag team champions 10 times between 94 and 99. So out of 5 years, they won the titles 10 times. So they averaged about, they averaged twice a year, so to speak, twice a year. So, yeah, you got to give it to them, man. Their last reign, I think, was 1 day. I think the last time they won the titles was Halloween Havoc, 1999. And it was I think it was a triple threat match between the Filthy Animals, which was Conan and Kidman, I think. And then I think of the First Family was Hugh Morris and Brian Knobbs, I think. So they won that triple threat. Someone can correct me, can be stat guy and correct me in the chat room if I'm incorrect. But I think it was Halloween Havoc 1999, Filthy Animals and First Family. And if I'm not mistaken, they lost the belts the next night on Nitro back to the Filthy Animals. So yeah, that was it was only 1 day long, but the good part is the Booker Man won the world title the last episode of Nitro, and he held up 2 belts. He held up the U.S. title and the World Heavyweight Championship after he beat Scott Steiner, because nobody's finer. So, Scott Steiner, he beat Scott Steiner the last Nitro, right? Won the world title. I think that was right.
Anti-GHP, Mysterio's never been a heel. I think
he was a heel with the Filthy Animals for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't count that. They still cheered
with no mask.
Like,
with no mask.
Yeah, he looked like a girl. I mean, when your 9-year-old son is taller than you, when you was doing that angle with Eddie, which I thought was hilarious.
Dominic, yeah.
That's sad. But I mean, like you said, the greatest babyface, Steamboat, won, Sting 2, and then you got to give it to Ray. I mean, there's literally nothing they could do with them three to where you just have to cheer them. I mean, they done tried to. Mysterio was trying to be held with the Filthy Animals. They still cheered them. They tried multiple times with Sting. Doesn't work. And, Steamboat, nothing they could do. They just got to cheer him.
Yeah. I mean, Sting's heel turn was absolutely terrible. I think he turned on Hogan.
For Raw, which we all laughed
Hogan was cheering, right? And he hit him with the bat. Isn't that how it happened?
Yeah, and they all laughed.
Yeah, because
he hit him with the bat.
Yeah, because Luger was because Luger and Sting were teaming, and Luger was the heel and Sting was the face, right? And Luger was trying to turn him rogue, if I'm not mistaken. That's how it went. And then so and I think that people thought that Luger was going to do the official turn, but Hogan was cheering. And Sting hit him with the bat, and then Dylan, I think he tried to be more of a heel when Dylan was kind of like the GM at that time, if I'm not mistaken, and it just didn't work. He had the seek and destroy, and it was just
that song is like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. It just didn't work. It just didn't work.
I love Metallica. That song takes forever to start.
Right.
By the time it started up, you never heard the whole song. Right when it started, it was time for the next person to come out.
Right. By the time they start the song, the lyrics of the song, you got Tony Schiavone's, "We've got to go! We're out of time!" He's doing the cliffhanger.
It's like the, what was that, Metallica, to Whom the Bell Tolls? All the Metallica songs are long. Speaking as a musician, and when Taker used it, the Hell in a Cell was like it took forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anytime you take a song and it's so long that you can just play the intro as the Hell in a Cell theme music, you know your song is long.
Yeah, it was certainly long.
And then when they used Sing Anger for the SummerSlam thing, they had to splice that up so much just so you can hear the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because once again, the intro is like 30 minutes long before the song.
Speaking of
Look that up.
intros,
Sing Anger. What was that? SummerSlam? What was that? Was it 01? 03? It wasn't 02. 03, something like that. Somebody looked that up. But yeah, they edited that song so much.
I remember, speaking of theme songs, I remember Armageddon had the same theme song for forever. The end is here. The end is here.
Who was that yelling?
The end is here. Had the same theme song every single year. The end is here. I really wish I could play these songs. I can't play any of them, man, because I would get paid.
The Diddley Game theme song, remember that?
Which one?
It's a Diddley Game.
Yeah. I remember that. Survivor Series 96, I think it was.
Survivor Series Snake. No chance in hell. Break down. You know, like.
Yeah, it's funny because Vince's theme song came from an In Your House theme.
Yep.
It was originally an In Your House theme, the No Chance in Hell In Your House.
Everything was an In Your House.
Yeah.
In Your House, Rock Bottom. In Your House, DX.
Of course, Linda's was WrestleMania's theme song.
WrestleMania. Yeah, the WrestleMania thing.
Yep.
Everything was in your. We can play the In Your House game. In your house, my games. In your house,
right.
Mind your business.
Beware of dog.
Take it off. Get man's heart. Everything was in your house.
In your house, heart and soul.
Heart and soul. Well, heart and soul was SummerSlam, but still, everything was in your house.
Yeah, man.
Capital punishment.
All the crazy In Your House names. Matter of fact, what was all what was some more In Your House names? I remember Heart and Soul. I remember Beware of Dog. Mind Games. That was the one with Mankind.
Mind Games.
Yeah.
Beware Dog 1 and 2. Because the lights went out.
Yeah.
Fatal 4-Way.
Yep. That was hilarious.
What was the one? My favorite was Better Friends. Better Friends, Worst Enemies.
Yeah.
Michaels and Diesel.
Yep. Yeah.
Someone said Code Day in Hell. I know about that.
Yeah. Yep. Code Day in Hell. Yep. I remember that one. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool, man. In Your House. And there were 2 hours. I remember there were 2 hours. I remember Buried Alive. That was a good one. Canadian Stampede. That was a good one, Bryan.
Backlash.
Yep.
Fully Loaded.
I remember that I could convince my parents. I convinced my grandmother at the time. I remember that I could convince her more to watch an In Your House, to buy an In Your House pay-per-view because they were only $20 and they were 2 hours long. Now the 3 hours pay-per-views, they were $30 when I was a kid, and they became $40. Now they're like 60 or 70 now. But yeah, I remember I could persuade my parent to get the In Your House because it was 2 hours long and $20. So I was like, it's only $20. I was at high school. It's only $20. Can I get it? Can I get it? I would get it, and I got a few of them. So yeah, Bad Blood. Yep, that's a good one. Yep.
Somebody said, buddy of mine said, Bunch of Combat. I forgot about that.
Yeah. GHP says now it's In Your House, Cold Day in ratings. I like it. That's very, very true. Yep. All right.
In your house, Batista's swim, spinning all over the place.
All right. So here's a segment before we get to. I mean, who really cares about Fastlane and Raw and SmackDown review? We'll get to it very, very quickly, but let's do some random based on current storylines. Let's do a satire segment with the chat right now. In your house, blank. All right, so you got to create a pay-per-view name based on a satire form of a really crappy moment or interview. I mean, or angle or whatever. So here's my first one. Let me give the example. Let me set the tone. So here we go. The first one is in your house. Give me what I want. that's the first one. That's the first in your house. First in your house. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
I got one from back in the day. In your house, life sucks.
And then you die. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so give me chat room. Give me one with okay, Cody. Okay, Cody. In your house, the Becky Lynch burial. That's a good one.
That baby sounds good.
Oh man. In your house, the house that AJ Styles built. Okay. Brandon says this plain old in your house boredom. Okay. All right. Give me another one. That's a good one, Monty. Okay, you get an applause for that one. That was really, really good. In your house, in the Guardians of the Independent scene. I love it. Ellie says, "I want it. Give it to me." Brian says, "In your house with diarrhea." Mo says, "In your house, vegan house." I like it with Daniel Bryan. In your house, earth tone. That's one with with Daniel Bryan in there. All right. Yes, I love it. That's a good one, Bo. In your house, the big dog. Love it.
In your house. Well, it's boss time. You don't shut up with that mess.
It's boss time. In your house, greenhouse. In your greenhouse. Yeah, I like it. Good. Cody says, in your house, a moment of bliss. Multi says, in your house, turn off the TV. Yeah, the moment of bliss. Yeah, so she's hosting WrestleMania. Clearly, Vince McMahon loves him some Alexa Bliss. She can't. Oh, I'm gonna do that in a minute. My mood. I like that.
Don't tell Vince.
JSP says, in your house, don't tell Vince. So clearly, Vince McMahon loves him some Alexa Bliss. I guess she can't wrestle, or she has no spot. There's conflicting reports of if she's even allowed to wrestle, if she's capable of wrestling. But so yeah, I'm not sold on her hosting. Yeah, but I can see
in your house.
His
mustache.
I can see how.
What is up with that?
I can see how Vince wants her to be in a spot. I get it. JSP says, ask Chris, who else used to listen to the TV with the scrambler box with the black and white screen when your parents couldn't order? Yes! And let me tell you, I used to use the remote and push reset real fast. That was my cheat code. And that's I would go to the pay-per-view site, push it, and reset real me and my brother actually, and we would push reset real fast, and sometimes it would bring up it would bring up the pay-per-view sometimes, and even sometimes we would be able to see clear clear pictures of it, and it was crazy. We would spend the whole 2-3 hours just pushing the reset button on the TV, and hoping that we could get some type of cheat code or to watch a pay-per-view, but we didn't get too far. But we still were able to hear a lot of it and see some of it. So, but I have the WWE Network now. I've had it since it came out, so I can watch all of them. And I watched all of them on YouTube before, anyways. But
you get like 2 seconds of clear video, then you get all that static. Like,
yep,
dang.
Absolutely. Our GSP said, right, I remember those moments. Oh, I saw a leg. Love it. Absolutely. Brandon says, in your house, same old matches. Yeah. Good stuff. Good segment, y'all. I really enjoyed the segment. All right, trivia. WrestleMania trivia. What was the main event of WrestleMania 1? All right, the other one is, okay, so major format changes scheduled to appear at the WWE Hall of Fame. So, no more personal introductions based on the source from this past weekend that I was informed. No more personal introductions, and the 15 minutes will be the cap for each person. Now, I imagine they might not go. It may go over, and they won't do too much about it. But I interviewed Goldberg a couple 3 months after the pay-per-view. 3 months. I interviewed Goldberg right after, 3 months after he got into the Hall of Fame, and he expressed it, man. He said he was pretty ticked off about it. He said he actually went to talk to Vince McMahon about it because I was on the floor. I went to the Hall of Fame last year and the year before, and I was on the floor both years. And so I didn't see how bad it looked behind me because, you had the high rise and everything, and it was in the state, it was in the arena. So I was looking forward. I love the speeches. I love the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is one of my favorite things to watch at WrestleMania weekend, but going there the past 2 years, it was a fantastic experience. But it was just so long, man. It was Hillbilly Jim's speech. God bless him, man. As far as I know, from what I've heard nothing but positive things about Hillbilly Jim. I've heard that he's such a nice guy, and God bless him, man. But his speech was so long, and I was just like, come on, man, you don't have much. I mean, to be, not to be rude, but I mean, he didn't have much to talk about when it came to a Hall of Fame resume. I can see, it's arguable, but I can see, Hillbilly Jim was one of the biggest names in the 80s, so I get it. I get it why he was in the Hall of Fame. I'm not necessarily opposed to it either. But I'm like, dude, you had the longest speech. You had the longest speech, and I'm like, dude, you have the shortest Hall of Fame resume, but you have the longest speech. So that was just weird to me.
That was the nail in the coffin. I can tell you by an anonymous source that the past couple of years, a lot of the wrestlers and Hall of Famers, I know for a fact, that's told me in confidence, dude, it's too long, we're ready to go. People was trying to leave, but you can't leave early. Once you're a part of the Hall of Fame and all of that, you can't leave early until it's over.
A lot of the wrestlers who was on the floor, though, a lot of wrestlers who attended, they left.
Yeah, they left. They left, or they went to the green room. They just was like, it was too long.
Backstage,
they've been talking about this for a couple of years, but Hillbilly Jim, and the nicest guy. I've talked to him numerous times off air. In general, that was the nail in the coffin. Once his speech was like 3.5 hours long, a Monday Night Raw episode, that's when Vince and them was like, nope, no more personal inductees.
Yep. Absolutely. Good job.
And that'd be funny. Backstreet, the Freebirds was too darn long. Like that was like 30 minutes.
They were.
Like come on.
It was fun to see, but it was long. Stan Hansen's was long again. I totally agree. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Stan Hansen is definitely one of the best Texas heels, but his was long. Mr. T talking about his mom. I thought it was hilarious, but it was
that
long.
was hilarious.
Yeah, it was long. But yeah. All right, next trivia question. Hogan and Mr. T versus Orton and Piper. Good job. Orndorff and Piper, I should say. What type of match did Roddy Piper and Agent Adonis have at WrestleMania 3? That's the next one. All right, next, let's get to real quick. Mr. T is in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he kept talking about his mom a few years back. I think it was like 2016. Was it 32?
Yeah.
When he was talking about his mom. I think it was either 32 or 31. 31 was California. 32 was Texas. I think it might have been 32. All right, Mo. All right, Mo. Hair versus hair. Good work. All right. Fastlane. Give me your grades for Fastlane. Usos defeating Miz and Shane. Okay, so this is what I'm not happy about. I do not care about Shane McMahon turning heel. And everybody, listen, people know that I love me some Shane McMahon. Big Shane McMahon fan. Been a Shane McMahon fan for years. But as Randy Savage would say, I don't care. I don't care. And it's like, dude, first of all, why are we having another McMahon taking away the heel development and push of someone else? Not a fan of that at all. I don't care about Shane McMahon being a heel and going against The Miz at WrestleMania. I have no care about that. I would be much more enthused if Shane McMahon and The Miz, and I agree, Multi, it's too soon to break up Shane McMahon and The Miz. I agree with that. I would have been much more intrigued if they would have built this story between Shane and The Miz trying to please his dad, Shane McMahon wants to tag team. They did such an express version of this. I would have been fine if they would have won the tag team titles at Mania. If they would have built them up and built them up and built them up, I would have been more intrigued in that story than anything else in the tag scene. Now, it's rumored that the Usos will go against the Hardys. It'll be a good match, but it seems like it may be a multi-person match. I don't know, man. I'm just not intrigued in just a simple matches without stories. And there's nothing about Shane's heel turn that just reeks, ooh, I'm buying it, I'm in. You know, I'm super in. And I was conversing with some good friends. We text each other back and forth about just wrestling. And I said this. I'm going to read this verbatim. Read the text that I have verbatim because they were okay with the Shane turn, and I am totally not buying the Shane turn because here's the thing. It was foreshadowed. We know that Shane was turning, of course, but it's like this is WrestleMania we're talking about here, right? So give me something that's so intriguing that I'm like, I have to watch this thing. I can't just not watch it. And I said this. I'm going to read this verbatim. I'm going to read this text verbatim. I said, to me, Shane as a heel is uninteresting. They've tried Miz as a face plenty of times and it hasn't worked. If you're a good heel, be a good heel. Let Sting be Sting. Let Rude be Rude. Let DiBiase be DiBiase. The constant switching has drastically hurt the business because you confuse the crowd. That's why the lines are so blurred with faces and heels now, which is one of the biggest reasons why the product overall is hurting. I don't care about watching Man in Tights. I care about the story. Give me someone to love and to hate and make it so convincing that I couldn't like them even if I tried. The way to do that is to know what someone naturally is and go with it. Flair's face turn worked in 93 because he got the David versus Goliath rub against Vader. Steamboat was never a heel for a reason. Sting turned heel for 2 weeks in WCW and it bombed. That's exactly how I feel about this whole Shane thing. Like it's GSP, right?
It makes sense. It's too rushed.
It says GSP says I agree with that. Turning Shane heel is like turning Pee Wee Herman heel. Here's the thing. Shane McMahon is a natural babyface. He's a likable babyface. You know he loves to do the strut, the stutter steps. He loves coming out like that. His theme music is very catchy, and he loves saying "What's up?" You know, I'm Columbus, Ohio, born and bred, so I'm putting my city over. What's up, Columbus? Like he loves doing that stuff. He's just, and as far as I from everybody who's I know a lot of wrestlers who are and used to be in the WWE. Everybody has so much good stuff to say about Shane. Everybody says that he's the coolest McMahon. He's one of the guys. You know, he just fits in with everybody. He doesn't really power struggle. I mean, he doesn't really power trip. He's just one of the guys. And Shane McMahon is a likable, cool dude who has the flyest, freshest J's every time you see him. And it's like, we saw it on SmackDown. It's like, dude, you're trying so much to just really fit this heel role. You're having the announcer say your name a bunch of times, and the angle is, I'm tired of everybody using me. What a terrible, terrible angle. Do you actually think that I'm going to buy someone using Shane McMahon and be so intrigued in that to say, oh yeah, I'm in that one. I'm in. Like I'm buying this. And just to me, I'm like, dude, I'm checked out. I'm checked out of this storyline. I'm checked out of the heel turn. And to me, and I've said this on Twitter, man. Kofi winning the title is the only thing that's going to really keep me in. You know, and granted, you know, thank God that, you know, I'm excited because, you know, Evan and I will be there at Mania and we'll be able to experience, and I'm hoping that Kofi wins the title. He should win the title. The place will go bananas. And here's the unpopular opinion alert. I think that should be the main event and not the Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda match, because that's cooled down so much, man. I got a really bad notion that the crowd might just totally tank on that match, and they may even hijack it because that's cooled down so much. Not because of Becky, you know, Becky's doing her thing, man, but they've booked her really bad. The whole selling the injury thing just been terrible. I don't think it should be the main anymore. Excuse me. There was a time where it could be a strong argument to be the main. But I don't think it should be the main. I think that Kofi and Daniel Bryan should be the main. Everybody keeps saying we want Kofi. You know, the crowds are hot for Kofi. This is just like 5 years ago in New Orleans. And they should make Kofi versus Bryan the main. Kofi wins, feel-good moment. The crowd goes absolutely bananas, and that creates the WrestleMania moment. Becky Lynch winning the title with in the triple threat, that would not get the same reaction as Kofi winning against Daniel Bryan. And it would be a very, very strong argument to it would be a very, very strong argument otherwise. I do not think, and I'm very. I feel it so strongly that Becky winning the title would not get the same reaction as Kofi. Because, first of all, Becky's been champ before. She's, you know, the angles cool down so much. And Kofi is the hottest act in WWE right now. Simple as that. WWE title should be the main. The title match should be the main event. If it is and Kofi wins, that would be a better WrestleMania moment than any other thing you can offer. Simple as that.
Got you right now.
Yeah.
The best thing to do. I mean, Becky been cooled down. Brock hasn't been around, so nobody really cares. I mean, you can't sell me Brock against Seth. That's weird. It just doesn't even matter. It doesn't even fit.
Definitely not.
You know what they're gonna do with Reigns? Are they gonna do Reigns against Dean? I mean, who really cares about that anyway?
Reigns and Drew is what they're looking like. What it's looking like.
Right. So you got to give it to Kofi. I mean, it's been a good amount of years since, and like I said, the only time I remember off top is Mania 24 when Taker beat Edge for the title. It's been a while since the SmackDown title has been more prevalent and have been more talked about, and the fans have been more excited about it than the Raw.
Yep. Got an excuse me. Got an asterisk question here. I could see an excessive losing streak for him to hit his breaking point, but after one loss, it's kind of weird. He did make a point about people about using him, but it was not enough for him to turn. Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying it, man. I mean, there's nothing. And I was saying, and I tweeted actually. I'm gonna read my tweet because I'm gonna read it verbatim because what I said I meant very vehemently. And
the fans agree too. The fans didn't even react when he turned heel. This was like, okay,
it's
just didn't.
I said I love Shane, been a fan for a long time, but heel turns just aren't the same anymore. I didn't buy his promo whatsoever. A shocking and good heel turn comes from a person who was way over. Shane wasn't booked that way. I have zero interest of a WrestleMania match versus The Miz, and I stand by it. I don't have that interest because they didn't book Shane as being super over. You know, he was just a cool dude, and he got pops, but they didn't push him. They didn't make him to a point where he was like super over. And the best heel turns are the shocking ones of the people who were just super duper over, and just like Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? Like Shawn Michaels was a dope heel turn. Rockers was such a babyface tag team. Yes, they saw dissension, but they were like, a lot of people were like, wait a minute, there's no way the Rockers are going to, split up. No way. The Rockers they're good guys. They can't, And then the whole super kick from nowhere, that was an incredible heel turn because he was way over. Shawn Michaels has a knack of heel turns. Remember the super kick out of nowhere to celebrating Hulk Hogan. And it was like, and no one thought that Shawn would turn heel then. The SummerSlam match was absolutely hilarious when he was overselling.
He turned heel, and Shawn Michaels was the only person in history. And I got some breaking news too. Yeah, I can say this publicly now because I talked to this person last night on the phone for like 3 hours. Michaels was heel for about 3 weeks against Hogan, and he became face instantly when he came out at the Raw, and he just said, well, sometimes you just got to know. Just HBK saying those words, he came back to being a face. Yep. He was heel for, 3.5 weeks?
Yeah.
The match, he sabotaged the match because, they were supposed to do 2 matches, a return match at Mania. Hogan opted out, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Michaels came back on Raw and was like, oh, well, sometimes you just got to know. And he was back to being a face.
Yeah, it sure was.
Let everybody know that Uncle Dave Meltzer, is getting blasted. I'm good friends with Stevie Ray. Uncle Dave did not feel Stevie Ray is qualified, if you will, for the Hall of Fame. So Featherstone, me and Stevie Ray are good friends. We talked on the phone for about 3 hours yesterday. Not going to discuss publicly what we talked about, but he did mention on a phone call last night, and he did tweet that since Uncle Dave feels he's not Hall of Fame worthy, he said that's fine, that's his opinion. I was voted by my peers. I got respect in this business, which is more than I can say for him. when the Hall of Fame is over, fans and everyone will get to hear what I really think of Dave.
Uh-oh.
Now, I know already how you feel about Dave, and I'm not saying it publicly. But do you know, fans, listen here, and here on my show, on Pancakes Powerslams, just wait at the Mania. You're going to get to hear good old Stevie Ray, good old Slapjack.
He's going to shoot.
Himself. It's going.
As Paul Heyman would say, shoot from the hip. But yeah, okay. So we'll see how that saga goes. I've actually talked to Dave Meltzer a couple weeks ago, chatted with him. He's been on the show before. We were conversing. We were conversing about being back on the show soon. So he was on the show before.
I know. So. Yeah, Uncle Dave fine with me. You know, I will say this though. Not gonna mention names. We're not the only people. Some of the boys were kind of surprised that Tori Wilson got signed to the WWE Hall of Fame before others. And some don't even feel like her career is Hall of Fame worthy, even though she's a great person.
Her theme song was cool.
You know,
I just need a place to come home.
What did she say? No one knew the words to that song.
Oh, man. No guest Q&A. Like I said, the ROH media call from Jay Lethal, the part 2, that's what I'm hosting next week. And then we're going to get Stasiak back on. But join the Patreon, everybody. The interviews, a lot of the interviews will be there. I'll be playing a lot of retro stuff on the show because I definitely want to give people who give to the Patreon some love. I really appreciate everybody who give to the Patreon. So I'm going to give y'all some love. But we'll be playing some retro. I think I'll be playing some retro interviews. I might do a few more Q&As, but I'll still be doing new and fresh interviews. But I think I'll give the Patreon the ability to do the Q&A inside the Patreon and have the Patreon members be the one who actually asks the Q&A questions. So that's why I think I'm going with it. I'm still doing some brainstorming on what I want to do to honor the Patreon supporters. So there's the Patreon right there. Boom! Adam Cole. Boom! So, all right. So let's hurry up. That's Fastlane. Raw. Shelton Benjamin. Just a random appearance. That was interesting. But it makes sense though. They used to team up in OVW, and they used to train together. And Benjamin was like a coach of Brock to a sense. So, and of course we talked about the Triple H Batista segment. Yeah. Aleister Black and Ricochet are still being billed as NXT guys. So I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, so they're still getting billed as NXT guys. They're competing on both shows. There's a really strong point. There's a really, really strong part of me that feels that those two are like the spokespeople, so to speak, the representatives for NXT, because I think on the Fox deal, the NXT might get that because they wanted the third show. I mean, they wanted a second show on Fox, FS1 or one of the other Fox affiliate, I mean, Fox partner networks or Fox umbrella networks like FS1 or something like that, FXX. Something, one of those Fox networks. So they wanted to have a program. So I think that NXT, it seems like it, don't quote me on this. I want to hear any Any breaking news? This is pure speculation. Don't say, for all the media people watching this show, don't make this as confirmed. It seems like I'm totally speculating here, but it seems like either FS1 and FS2, they want the NXT show, and because it seems like WWE, especially Triple H, want to popularize NXT to make them feel like a legitimate third brand, and to carry that over to actually have NXT be its separate brand on FS1 or FS2. That's what it seems like. So, doing that, I get it, but at the expense of WWE main roster guys, not the biggest fan of that. All right, trivia question: who did the Undertaker compete against at WrestleMania 8? Who did the Undertaker compete against at WrestleMania 8? All right, so as far as Kurt Angle, I really like the Drew moment at the end. Made him look like a dominant face. I've been saying that for a long time. I couldn't stand the fact that they made him randomly lose to Finn Balor a few months back. That was terrible, absolutely terrible. But I'm glad that they re-upped it. They refreshed his heel row. I was a big fan of that. And he looks really good ending the show, looking like a bad boy. All right, so we talked about SmackDown too. So yeah, he got the gauntlet match with
GP. Just felt weird.
I liked the Orton and AJ segment. That was it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I wish that there was a bigger story behind this. Definitely throwing this together. But the fact that it's Randy Orton and AJ Styles, I mean, they're going to tear the house down. And the segment, it had it had some shoot in it. You know what I mean? And so, definitely, CJ said it, has some good digs. And so I bought it. I bought into it. And I think that segment was really good. And it made me say, okay, there's a story, there's an angle to their match now. And it makes perfect sense, by the way. So yeah, I'm cool with it. I think that was a good way to add something to their match. And I like it. Jake Roberts is the answer.
I remember too. Well, that's the segment I did honestly miss. I was trying to get better for the show tonight. But remember when AJ was in TNA, Impact, Anthem, whatever you want to call it, that was a dream match that everyone talked about for years. Is AJ against Orton. And now that we finally get it, even though years later, they're still not past their prime. They're still getting the way they could tear the house down. AJ still could go in the ring, and so could Orton, even though Orton he's at the point, just doesn't care, does what he wants, and that's it.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna step up and show up for Mania because I think this match is gonna be a sleeper. I think it's gonna be really good to watch. All right, so I've got the soundbite. Here we go. Right?
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
It was me all along. JSP says, Raw felt more together, and besides the Kofi stuff, SmackDown felt like they didn't have a clue about the direction of Mania. I think that's a good assessment. And poor Dana Brooke. Yeah, I mean, fellow Ohioan, like she can't. The promo wasn't that bad though. It wasn't that bad, but it was like no one cares about Dana Brooke. But here's the positive. She's in much better shape now. Okay, like she was a big bodybuilder and she was in really good shape. She fell off, unfortunately. A bit. She fell off a bit. But she's in really good shape now. So that's one thing I did notice. It's like, yeah, Dana Brooke looks in good shape now. It's like she looks like in a shape that when she was in NXT. And I mean, I get it. I totally get it from a Dana Brooke standpoint. It's like, man, I'm being booked so terribly. I'm not going to be as strict as I am when I was competing and things like that. I mean, she wasn't in bad shape at all, but I definitely I definitely saw a difference from NXT, and but yeah, she looks great now. She's gotten back in really good shape, and that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, yeah, Dana Brooke, she's gotten back in shape, so kudos to her for that. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. Could they use Dana as like somebody? I don't know. I don't think so. She's a learner, though. You gotta give that to her. She's a learner. But unfortunately, she's just one of those people that I don't ever think that that WWE will have anything to do with her. Kimbo said that he thought that she was going to get a push when she debuted in the main roster. Yeah, it seemed like they were heading that way, but yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to do anything with her. So, all right, so let's do this, y'all. I think that's it, right? We got the WrestleMania trivia. We got the headlines. Again, 17th anniversary. Check that out this weekend. ROHWrestling.com. Go. Check it out. It's a really stacked card. GSP says Dana Brooks' mic skills are far better than Jeff Hardy. Creatures! All right, here we go. So we have these pro wrestling controversial questions. We got about 7 minutes or so to address a few. So it looks like we're going to be doing a part 3 next week as well. I really like these. I think I might carry these over to Mania because these are some really good talking points. So I've actually got them all. I got about 6 or 7 questions in a basket. I'm going to shake it. I'm going to pull a question out. And here we go. Here is the first question. The first question. All right. Let's read it out loud. Here we go. WCW would have been out of business by now if it did not fold in 2001. Yes or no? Yes or no? We might have talked about this earlier. Let's see. What do y'all think? WCW out of business already if it didn't fold in 2001.
A good one. I don't think so. I think still would have been around.
Zed says no. Brandon says he doubts it. Mo says no. Cody says yes. He believes that WCW would have been out of business. Sports Huddle believe as well, and Kimbo. Out of business by now, even if it did not fold in 2001. GSP does not feel that WCW would have been out of business. Yes, thank you. That's true, Zed. National Pancake Day, man. Kudos to the wife. She bought me some pancakes back home from IHOP, and I enjoy them thoroughly. And it's so funny. My forte is brunch. I love cooking brunch. So she brought me back some pancakes, and I cooked some bacon and eggs with those pancakes. Oh man! I had a fantastic dinner / brunch tonight.
You get some crepes. We need to get in New York.
Crepes. I don't know. Oh, well, I'll be in New York in a few weeks, so I may try it. But episode would have been what TNA is now and better. Interesting assessment. All right. For the second time, let's do a couple more real quick. Here we go. Cody. They let the wrestlers run the show and gave out ridiculous contracts. It wasn't a sustainable model. Very good. What day is PNP's birthday? Good question. Ask Chris question. Good question. I believe the first show was April the 3rd of 2012. It was right after Mania. Let me get that date for you. So 7 years ago was WrestleMania 28. It was a Tuesday after Mania. So WrestleMania 28 was was WrestleMania 28. Ask Chris, don't know about anyone else, but I'm looking forward to the post-WrestleMania podcast. Oh yeah, baby. 7-year anniversary. The anniversary show we'll do the week beforehand. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Much fun. Cody, you'll be at WrestleMania? Maybe I'll be listening to the podcast on the way home. Good stuff. I'll be Evan and I will be at WrestleMania as well. Yeah, okay, yep. So it was so Mania 27th was Sunday, April the 1st, 2012. That Tuesday was the first PNP show. So that was April the 3rd, 2012. So April 3rd is officially the 7-year birthday of PNP. Yep. Mo says April 2012 is what Wikipedia said. Yes! Wikipedia is, Wikipedia, PNP is on Wikipedia, man. Man, Mo says, congrats, Chris, that it's awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, so we got time for one more. Here we go. Kayfabe is dead. Whoa. Whoa. That's a big one.
Oh, it is.
Thank you, Zed. Thank you, Zed. 7 long, 7 strong. GHP says yes. Mo says yes. Too much reality shows. Brendan says he thinks social media killed it. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Rest in Fabe. I like it. I think the social media is a very good point, man. I don't ever want kayfabe to be dead, though. Yes, it is. Mamu says yes, it is until Ronda Rousey put up real promos about WWE. Kimbo says yes, reality is more interesting these days. Good point, Zed. Zed says no because the whole world is kayfabe now. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I like that. Yeah, man. I hope it's one of those things, man. I'm still going to I'm still going to believe the kayfabe is a deal, man. It's kayfabe is still alive. The baby faces and the heels and the characters are still now exposing the people outside of WWE. It's much bigger now because of social media, but at the same time, I can't say that it's 100% dead, as Cody is saying. I don't think it's 100% dead when they can blur it. The last time I remember CM Punk leaving in 2011 until he left the title. Mo thinks Taker's keeping kayfabe alive. That's right.
Not no more.
Because you will rest in peace.
Brock is too.
Yes.
Give it to Brock. Brock is one that Brock doesn't.
Yep.
You don't see Brock talk much or do anything personally, so Brock is the only other one.
Stays at home, no social media. He doesn't interact with social media much. So, yeah, I agree with that. All right, so more questions like that next week. So that's going to be good. GSP says it's dead, but the wrestling fan in me won't die. That's correct. Ronda Rousey rant made me mad. I'm a 33-year-old man. Won't let it die is what he won't. Wrestling fan in me, I agree with that. The wrestling fan in me won't let kayfabe die. That's exactly right. 100% agree with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 363 episodes in the book. Since we are at Plan A, I got to stay in the guidelines. The Plan A guidelines. And now, Kofi, according to my father-in-law, Vince, he is the new B-plus player. So, since we're not doing Plan B, we're at Plan A, back to normal. Got to keep my restrictions. But 363 episodes in the books. It's been a pleasure, as always, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Evan Tech Proud, I am Chris Featherstone. God bless you all. Enjoy the night. And always remember, have a good week. Enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember,
Thank
give me
you for
what I
using
want.
Blog Talk Radio.
I'll do it for you.
Goodbye.
Bye.